Thank you, patrons. What up, nerds? Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. My name is Leslie Smith, and today I'm here to talk about a book that I have just finished reading just a few days ago. This is one for all of you who love adventure, high stakes, political intrigue, deceit, mysterious magic. And of course, what reeled me in is the lost heir trope. I'm talking about A Betrayal of Storms by Ben Alderson. This series was originally self-published in January 2022, and from my understanding, it's undergone some revisions and it has now been picked up and is being traditionally published through my friends at Angry Robot Books. I can't speak to what it was like before the revisions, but I can tell you that this one right here, 5-star read all across the board for me. I am so incredibly excited for the rest of the series. I am so grateful that I saw that one little fragment, lost heir trope, and requested a copy from Angry Robot so I could read it, review it, and now I am a huge fan. So even if it doesn't work out that I'm not able to convince some of you to read it, I myself have a new favorite. Ben became an auto-buy author before I even finished this book. Y'all, the first line, the first chapter just could not have been written any better to just snare me. Anytime somebody throat punches somebody else in the first chapter, you're gonna get a win out of me. But the very first line, I knew, okay, I'm about to have a real good time with this book. I woke to the uncaring kiss of a dagger at my throat. That just screamed intrigue to me. What was about to happen and why? The whole first chapter was just this one big action scene, but it was realistic. Our main character, Robin Vale, this is told from his perspective. It's a first-person POV. So you have a front row seat to what he's thinking. And what I loved about this is obviously Robin's going to be our lost heir. He wasn't portrayed to be some immediate, straight off page one badass. He has not been training his whole life with sword, daggers, poleaxe, shield. He even described himself as having minuscule muscles, but he does know how to fight. His dad did teach him how to fight. His dad works at a tavern where they live, so Robin can stand up for himself. And fortunately for him, his two attackers that we meet in chapter 1, the uncaring kiss of the dagger at his throat, they're both drunk. So there's also a lot of humor in there. Unfortunately, as Robin is about to make good on his getaway, he runs into the third member of the party who was not drunk, and so sets forth the whole bit of action for A Betrayal of Storms, which is the first book in the Realm of the Fey series by Ben Alderson. I am very happy to report this series is going to be coming out right along. The next book comes out in November. The third one comes out in the beginning of December, and I believe the fourth is going to be out in January of 2025. So let me get right into the description of what this book is all about and what I think makes it different and makes it stand out from other books in its genre. It is being marketed as a male-male romantasy. Y'all, that is a subplot in this book. At least I felt that way. I gave it a spice level rating of 3, which means that there is some romance going on, but it doesn't overshadow the plot. In fact, it complements the plot, and the way that the author wrote it in, it happened organically. It wasn't love at first sight. In fact, the way that it's written, there's so much confusion for our main character, Robin Vale, that he's not even quite certain how he feels about his little love interest in this one. I know how I feel about Eric's. I mean, my goodness, Robin, if you don't want him, talk to your girl. So our main character, Robin Vale, is half human, half Fey, and he has grown up among and around the humans his entire life. Despite the fact that the people of this town have watched Robin grow up with them, it doesn't save him from being captured and sold to Fey hunters. Now, as luck would have it, Robin and the other Fey captives are rescued by a Fey princess, Althea. She is a princess of the Autumn Realm of the Fey, which is where she takes Robin and the other captives. Shortly upon his arrival in Witchwood, Robin learns that the Fae are on the precipice of launching this massive war against the humans who have apparently been entering along the border of the Fae realm to hunt and kill them for payment from this mysterious hunter known as the Hand. Many years have been spent carefully planning and preparing for this war against the humans. There is a reason for the timing, but I'm going to keep that a secret. But they're balanced on the razor's edge, about to attack, when it becomes known the true identity of Robin Vale, what his heritage is, and it turns out he is the missing heir of the Ice Thorn Court of the Winter Realm of the Fae. He is the last surviving member of the royal bloodline of the Winter Fae, and as such, that means he gets to have a say in this war if he chooses to. There's a choice here, and Robin, poor Robin, he has lived his whole life in the human world, and they are taught about the Fae, but what he learns very quickly upon entering the world of the Fae, he doesn't know as much as he thought he did. So he's thrown into this world. He's trying to think quick on his feet. He's trying to learn. He's also struggling with this decision. Does he want to go back to what he's always known? Or does he want to answer the pull of the mystery of his mother's house, what it means to be Fae, why she left him and his father? There is so much going on. And because there's this whole threat of war, the Fae themselves are even split. There's the faction that wants to go to war. There's a smaller group that wants to prevent war. And both sides are trying to get Robin swayed to see their way of thinking. You know, these humans, they're hunting the Fae, they're killing them for money, while others just want Robin to claim his birthright, the magic, the wild, untamed magic of the Winter Court, and by taking that power and keeping it from breaking the accords and opening up the borders of the realm of the Fae, he can keep everyone safe. What is Robin going to choose? This is a decision he wants to think about. He wants to make an informed decision. This proves extremely difficult for Robin because there are those that are not willing to wait for him to make a decision. They are trying to make one for him. Assassination attempts, battles. There are creatures sent hunting Robin. Other Fae are hunting Robin. The humans are hunting Robin. It is so wild. There's so much action. There's so much political intrigue. But Ben Alderson also knows exactly when to slow things down a little bit, let the reader catch their breath, and that's when the really sweet moments come in, to when Robin meets someone that he becomes friends with. These openings are also perfectly used for our attraction between Robin and his personal guard, Eric's. I loved how this romance was written. It's all about chemistry. It's that whole someone catches your eye and you look back and you look back again, and then you're looking at them when they're not looking at you, or you think they're not looking at you, and you're going, okay. I loved how even in the romance part of this book, with everything going on around Robin, this too, he doesn't just make the snap decision of, oh, I love Eric's. He doesn't know. He's kind of confused about it. He's sort of using it as a distraction from everything else. This felt like an attraction between two people that I could see happening in real life, which I really appreciate. I like romance that feels real. I don't want my romances that I'm reading to feel like a fictional thing. I want it to be a realistic thing that I could see happening between two people, and that's exactly what Ben Alderson gave me. I love Robin Vale. He had good common sense. That's what he had. He didn't have all these muscles. He didn't have all this weapon skill. He didn't have all this hidden stuff. He did have magic that had been hidden from him, but he doesn't know how to use it. And this is something I did feel was unique that Ben Alderson created for us, is the magic of the royal bloodline of each of the four realms seems to be this finite pool of magic. Each of the four realms gets its pool. it's diluted, diminished by how big the family is. So if you have 20 kids, your magic is going to be divided between the 20 kids and you and any siblings you may have. The bigger your family, the more weak your magic is. The smaller your family is, the stronger it is. So you can imagine Robin, who is the last surviving member of his family. That's why it's so difficult for him to master this magic. It's huge. It is this wild, untamed force that has just been left for years running wild. I really loved the chemistry between Robin and Eric's, who is his personal guard after he's been rescued from the camp of the hunters and his identity that has been revealed. Eric's is a bit of a mystery. There's a lot of hints that there are some things about Eric's that we don't know, and of course Robin doesn't know them either. The banter between the two of them, the teasing, the flirting was so good. I had so much fun reading about these two. I feel like Eric's fell first for Robin, and he's content. He's patient to let Robin catch up if he does. But Eric's is content with the way things are right now. Is that going to change as books go on? I don't know. The world building and the writing style, hands down. Well, and the intrigue, my favorite elements of A Betrayal of Storm. Ben was so meticulous in his writing. Whatever realm you were in, everything matched that vibe. So the very first realm of the Fey we visit is the Autumn realm. All of the Fae that were there dressed in those types of colors. It was just described very beautifully. The city was under these big, huge trees that had golden leaves. When a character was described, they smelled like cinnamon or spices or maple. It just gave off the vibe. I felt the author engaged all 5 of my senses because he used things I was familiar with. I know what cinnamon smells like. I know what maple smells like. So when I'm reading these descriptions, because they were so well done, I'm smelling and tasting everything that I'm reading about, and I was all in. This was such a perfect autumnal read. What is that tag? There's a tag that goes around every year. What's a book you pick up to read for the autumnal vibes? This is going to be my pick. Not that I do tags anymore, but my goodness, it was just wonderfully written. I reread several descriptions. I would reread scenes just because there was a well-placed line at the end of it. I would go back and reread that whole bit of dialogue just for the full context of that well-delivered line. There was just so many times that it was so beautifully written that I would just go back and reread the paragraph a couple of times. So I couldn't fly through this book because I was just enjoying so many different things about it. I had an absolutely fantastic time reading A Betrayal of Storms. Before I was even finished with it, Ben had made it onto my auto-buy author list. I can't wait for the second book. I have no idea what direction it may take. Maybe, nope, I'm not going to get into all that. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm always wrong with my predictions anyway, but yet I still try to have them. So I'm just going to wrap it up there. I have gushed enough. If I haven't convinced you to pick this book up, there's nothing more that I can say that will help you do so. But if you're interested in picking up this beautiful paperback copy from Angry Robot Books, I will have links in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one. This channel would not be what it is today without the wonderful support of its patrons. Thanks again to all of the Nerdy Narrative patrons, with a special shout out to the nerds Radiant: Chad, John, Gail, Amanda, Star, Tara, Anne, Amanda, Andrew, Kate, Ev, and Sharon.